Hi guys, so in this video I'm going to be talking about 10 movies from one of my favourite actors of all time, pretty much, Michael Keaton. So yeah, I'm going to be doing my top 10 all-time favourite Michael Keaton movies. So yeah, that being said, there's just a few honourable mentions I want to sort of give a shout out to. Haven't seen every movie, of course, with Michael Keaton, but yeah, that being said, just a few honourable mentions I want to give a shout out to. So first up, these are all the ones that didn't make the list for me. Gung Ho, which I believe was an early Ron Howard movie about unions and in the workplace, which was a sort of early comedy that I really enjoyed. Another early comedy, Mr. Mum, early John Hughes movie that he wrote with Michael Keaton. I really did get a kick out of that one. Another comedy, Multiplicity, as well. Another movie I enjoy with Andy McDowell. Spotlight, yeah, that's a great movie that just didn't quite get into the top 10 for me. Much Ado About Nothing, the Kenneth Branagh directed movie based on the Shakespeare play. I think he's got a really good comedic role in that. Really small role from him as well in Quentin Tarantino's Jackie Brown, which is a movie I really enjoy. And my last honourable mention is The Dream Team, which is sort of late 80s comedy. It wasn't my cup of tea, but I still enjoyed it for what it was. I was just a little bit disappointed given that movie's cast. But yeah, those are all my honourable mentions. I recommend you check out all those movies if you can get hold of them. But yeah, so gonna get straight in to the main list of 10 movies from Michael Keaton. So coming in at number 10 for me is a Ron Howard movie from 1994 called The Paper. I really dig the cast in this movie. It's phenomenal. You've got Glenn Close, Robert Duvall, Randy Quaid, Marissa Tomei, and of course Michael Keaton. And that was really the main sort of selling point and the main takeaway from this movie for me was its cast. I was just sort of blown away by the amount of talent on screen in this movie. And Michael Keaton is of course very entertaining in this movie. There's a scene where he's on the phone and he just loses his shit. And I just adore Keaton, firing at all pistons, which he is in this movie. But yeah, I can't really say much more about it. It's not a blow your socks off movie. The cast is the main selling point, and if you enjoy these actors, you're going to enjoy this film. It's not a 10 out of 10 movie, but it's one I certainly enjoyed, and I hope to revisit again soon. So yeah, that is my number 10 choice, The Paper. So coming in at number 9 is a more recent movie from Michael Keaton. It's part of the MCU, and that is SpiderMan Homecoming, as of course the Vulture. This to me is one Marvel movie where it's really got the villain right. I think the villain's motivations in this movie, of course, the Vulture played by Michael Keaton, I just really get on board with his motivations and his reasonings why he turns to crime in this movie. This movie, of course, has one of the best reveals in it as well. There's a great scene between Michael Keaton's character and Tom Holland's Peter Parker in this movie, which just absolutely blew me away. I wasn't expecting it when I saw it. And yeah, on rewatch, the movie holds up still very well, in my opinion. I know it's not a lot of people's not their most favourite Spider-Man movie, but I do get a kick out of Michael Keaton in this movie, and I just think he's a fabulous villain. So yeah, that is Spider-Man Homecoming coming in at number 9. So coming in at number 8 for me is, just to talk about the movie straight away. So my number 8 choice is My Life with Michael Keaton and Nicole Kidman. This movie is not for everyone. It's a very sort of, I don't want to say depressing movie, but it focuses on someone suffering with a terminal illness, which is Michael Keaton's character. And, he comes to terms with it, and he starts to, his wife's pregnant as well, and he's been told, he's not got long to live. And he decides to make these movies for his unborn child. I think he's having a boy, and he makes these videos to sort of like set his son up for life. And of course, as the movie goes on, Michael Keaton's health deteriorates. There's a scene in this movie which is just absolutely heartbreaking, where Michael Keaton's on the bed and his dad's shaving him, and Michael Keaton is completely void of energy. He's just, void of anything. He's so ill and so lacking energy that he's just really, really struggling, and you can see that, and it comes across in the movie. And his dad's shaving him, and he just looks at his dad and he's like, I love you, Dad. It's heartbreaking. It really, really is. It's just really, really upsetting, and it's a real testament to Keaton's acting abilities. I think this movie, it's not one that gets talked about a lot. When people are talking about Michael Keaton movies, it's not one that gets thrown in the conversation. It's not the best movie ever as well, but I just think he really, really does deliver a fantastic performance in this movie. It's my number 8 choice. So yeah, that is My Life. It's coming in at number 7 for me. I'm not going to talk too much about this movie because I have talked about it in my last couple of videos. But yeah, coming in at number 7 for me is Clean and Sober. So yeah, it's an early 80s movie. This, to me, of course, is the movie that, in my opinion, got Michael Keaton the role as Batman. But yeah, this for me is just a great turn that Michael Keaton as an actor made, I think, in his career. It's a much more serious role, coming off, the back of the likes of Beetlejuice and Mr. Mom. The time when he was considered to be a comedic actor, this really showed him as a serious actor and what his capabilities were. This is a great supporting cast in it as well, with Kathy Baker and Tate Donovan, and of course Morgan Freeman. Yeah, just a superb supporting cast. So it pretty much follows his character, who is pretty much an addict, and he ends up going to rehabilitation, and he doesn't think he needs it, but as the movie progresses he realises that it's exactly what he needs. But yeah, I adore this movie. I think it's so underrated, and I can't really say much more about it than that. So yeah, that's my number 7 pick, Clean and Sober. So coming in at number 8 for me is, again, another movie I've talked about for a bit. I think this is the movie Keaton made between Batman and Batman Returns, and that is Pacific Heights. Desperate for a Blu-ray, this one. I just absolutely love this movie. This, to me, is, besides from SpiderMan Homecoming, this is an early 90s movie which really got to see Keaton sort of sink his teeth into a villainous role, and I just absolutely adore this movie for it. This movie will put you off letting property, if that's something you ever want to go into. But yeah, he's just a tenant who's absolutely crazy in this movie. He's a tenant from hell. And he comes across as squeaky clean, just the perfect candidate for Matthew Modine and Melanie Griffin's character, who, are a couple who've just bought a property and they're deciding to rent some of their rooms out in their new house. Michael Keaton comes along, he seems absolutely perfect, and he turns out to be the tenant from hell. And yeah, he's just really, really creepy in this movie. I absolutely love him for it. It's underseen, great premise, great setting. I just absolutely love it, and yeah, can't say much more about it than that. So that is my next pick, Pacific Heights. So coming in at number 5 for me is, again, more recent movie. I think in 2 years' time this movie will be 10 years old. But yeah, we're going with Birdman and the Unexpected Virtue of Ignorance. So yeah, for me, this was Keaton back, in my opinion. His career, I think, sort of took a bit of a dive in the 2000s, and this one was just his rebirth, as it were. I think the movie sort of reflects what he was going through as an actor as well. Sort of in the movie, he plays a character who is an actor who was, going pretty much through, had fame in the past, to do with a couple of movies, and then he just sort of disappeared from the limelight and wants to sort of reclaim, relive those glory days, and sort of find a new lease and a new, cause for fame, and for being in the public eye again. And yeah, I love the way this movie is shot. The whole movie looks like one continuous take. And it just looks absolutely gorgeous. New York looks absolutely great. I love the scene where Keaton is, of course, in his underwear, trying to get back into the theatre, and he's just having to walk through Times Square. It's hilarious. The supporting cast in this movie as well: Emma Stone, Zach Galifianakis, Ed Norton. Too many to mention. It's just a wonderful, wonderful film, and I just love its creativity. And I'm so glad that this movie, of course, won Best Picture as well. And of course, Keaton will go on to win Best Picture the year after with Spotlight as well. That just didn't quite get in the top 10 for me. But yeah, so yeah, that is my number 5 pick, Birdman. So coming in at number 4 for me is, again, another recent sort of movie in the last 10 years. We're going with 2016's The Founder. So yeah, this is Keaton doing the biopic of Ray Kroc, who I don't really want to sort of say founded McDonald's, but yeah, it focuses on his character, Ray Kroc, who pretty much stumbled upon McDonald's while he was trying to sell, milkshake makers, and pretty much took that business and the burger business of McDonald's and took it to its full potential. Had a vision of McDonald's being the juggernaut that it is today, and he executed it, no matter what the cost was or who he pissed off along the way. And yeah, I remember going to see this at the cinema, and I came out of the cinema and I overheard someone talking to the partner, and they said, well, he wasn't a very sympathetic character, was he? And I think that guy just hit it on the head. He's not meant to be in this movie. He's just a ruthless businessman, and he doesn't, care how he executes his vision, who he upsets. He's there to do it. But I still love the movie, and I still think that this is a fantastic character study of someone who's down on their luck and couldn't think of the business. The business was there, and they sort of in a way stole it from these two brothers, Mac and Dick McDonald, and wanted to sort of push the business, the idea and the potential of what this business could be, and take it to the absolute max. And of course that's what he did. But yeah, I adore this movie. I'd go as far as to say I think it's underrated. I just absolutely love it. I think it's so rewatchable as well. I just have a fabulous time with The Founder, and I think it's one of Keaton's best. I just absolutely love it. So that is my number 4 pick, The Founder. So coming in at number 3 for me is, my top 3 movies are Tim Burton movies. So yeah, these are all Tim Burton movies. My number 3 pick is Batman Returns. Got this in the 4K box set, and I must say this movie looks absolutely stellar on 4K. It is superb. This is one of the 4Ks that, to me, blew the Blu-ray out the water. I just think it looks phenomenal. But yeah, this is a movie that I love the first 2 acts to as a kid. Love the first 2 acts as a kid. But when the 3rd act sort of started in this movie, I sort of trailed off and I lost interest, and I could never really remember it. I was like, oh yeah, that's the Batman movie with Penguin and Catwoman, I'll watch that. And then every time I watched it, when the 3rd act come along, I'd sort of trail off and lose interest. I mean, I watched it, but I just could never remember how this movie ended. But as an adult, I go back, rewatch this movie a hell of a lot. I absolutely love it. To me, it's more of a Tim Burton movie than a Batman movie. But that being said, I absolutely love Tim Burton. I think he's in his peak, in his prime. I think, his visions as a director would just pour off the screen. I just love his creativity, his designs, his partnerships with Danny Elfman as well, doing his scores, in the likes of, Beetlejuice, Edward Scissorhands, and the Batman movies. But yeah, this for me is, I know this movie has its problems, absolutely, but it's a childhood favourite. as I said, especially those first two acts. And I just adore Keaton as Batman. I just think he was great. I think a lot of people didn't see Clean and Sober, and when he was cast as Batman in that first '89 movie, obviously there was a huge uproar because of the casting choice of Keaton, and then people saw the movie and then sort of realised, well, okay, this was a good choice. And it carries over into this. I just absolutely love it. I love that scene where he's just sitting there and the bat signal comes on and he gets up and I'm pumped. I'm ready to go. And yeah, I just absolutely love it. So it's my number 3 pick for my favourite Michael Keaton movies. So yeah, that is number 3, Batman Returns. So coming in at number 2 is late 80s sort of supernatural comedy, Beetlejuice, again directed by Tim Burton. Now you could say, why have you got Beetlejuice as number 2? Because Keaton really isn't in all the movie that long. That's exactly why I love this movie. Not to say that the character overstays his welcome, but for me, I just love when he's on screen because it feels so concentrated. It's just an absolute joy. But yeah, I think it just works to the movie's favour that he has such limited screen time. It just makes it more precious and more enjoyable. And that's exactly why I love this movie. It's great. Beetlejuice as a character is just, to me, he's just an absolute nitwit, and I just absolutely love him for it. He's just so funny. The pace of his talking is so fast. I didn't actually realise it was Michael Keaton watching this movie. I just thought the makeup was that good. He was unrecognisable to me, and it's only when you take a step back and you sort of look and go, oh yeah, that is Keaton. The makeup's that good. But as I've grown older and rewatched this movie, that has sort of faded a bit. I can completely tell it's Michael Keaton now. But yeah, I adore this movie. I just think he's so good in this. This is probably for me one of his best comedic roles before going into the more serious stuff. And yeah, I just adore it. I have such a blast with it. It's one of the best 4K transfers I've seen. I probably own about over 30 4Ks at the moment at the time of recording this video. But yeah, I just love Beetlejuice. It is phenomenal. I can talk about this movie forever. I can watch it till the cows come home. But the 4K really, really showed me some things that I was missing when watching the Blu-ray. The clarity of it is just absolutely gorgeous, and the colours just pop. But yeah, it's a phenomenal movie, and I love it. It's one of my favourite Keaton movies. My number 2, of course. But yeah, so yeah, that is my number 2 pick, Beetlejuice. So coming in at number 1 for me is, of course, 1989's Batman by Tim Burton. Yeah, I just think Keaton and Jack Nicholson go hand in hand in this movie as Batman and the Joker. I cannot remember watching this movie for the first time. This movie has always sort of been in my memory. I can never really remember seeing it for the first time. It's always been there. All I can remember is rewatching it. I can never ever have that first experience. I can't remember it. This is one movie that I don't exaggerate when I say this. I've probably seen this. It's in the hundreds. The amount of times I've seen this movie. I watch this movie multiple times a year. I just love it. Everything about it, the soundtrack, the direction, the cast. It's phenomenal. I love the score from Danny Elfman and the soundtrack from Prince. Keaton as Batman, I think, was a phenomenal choice. This is the role I always associate him with, and I just adore it. I adore everything about this movie. I know it's not everyone's cup of tea, this movie. I know maybe over the years, it's over 30 years old now. Maybe cracks are starting to show with this movie. It's not perfect, and I absolutely get that. That's absolutely fine. To me, it'll always be perfect, and I will never ever change anything about it. I was scared at the 4K with reviews that I'd seen that there was going to be this horrible, gratuitous blue tinge to it. There is a little bit, but you know, it never bothered me when watching the 4K. I was just sort of more blown away by the actual colours and the clarity of it. I just thought it looked great. But yeah, this is one of my favourite movies ever. Period. Grew up watching it. You know, hundreds of times, and I hope to watch it hundreds of times more again in the future. I just absolutely love it. It's my number one choice. So yeah, that is Batman. So yeah, those are my top 10 all-time favourite Michael Keaton movies. One of my favourite actors of all time. So yeah, I'm just going to leave the video there, guys, and say thanks very much for watching. Let me know some of your favourite Michael Keaton movies down below in the comments as well. And I'm hoping to get back to all the comments now that I've got a bit of time. So yeah, I'm going to say thanks very much for watching, guys. Stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.